Woof.
So here we go. New DevBlog came out today, as a matter of fact. Came out just a little while ago. Looks like it says 7 p.m. on my screen. I don't know if that's for my time zone or not, but in any case, hasn't been out that long. And this is detailing new ships that are coming out in closed testing. So this is going to be the American Researchable Hybrid battleships. Oh boy. All right. We got Nebraska, Delaware, Louisiana. Then there's also a Tier 3 Pan-Asian cruiser, the Ning Hai. There's a Tier 9 battleship. This is Pan-Asian. Tier 9 battleship, Sun Yat-Sen. Commonwealth Tier 9 cruiser, Hector. And British Tier 8 submarine, Alliance, which I will begrudgingly at least talk about for the small handful of people that may actually like subs. So let's see what this says about the battleship lines here. Each one of these ships has main battery guns with good firing range, though not the highest damage per minute, as well as a squadron of dive bombers equipped with HE bombs. Okay. The aircraft are not available to activate at the beginning of the battle and are subject to a significant prep time. The large number of planes per squadron allows for good damage dealt. However, the planes do not return to the ship after use. A full squadron is restored after the long cooldown. How do they stand out? With good maneuverability and speed, which makes it possible to change flanks. Okay. Most vulnerable part of these ships is their large, lightly armored aircraft hangars, which form part of the superstructure. Thanks to good firing range, these newcomers can provide effective support to their team. The consumables are damage control party, repair party with standard characteristics, as well as a fighter. As far as anti-submarine tools, they will have a standard depth charge airstrike. If testing is successful, we will consider adding this armament to the to the hybrid ships already present in the game. So let's look at this. So here is your Tier 8 American battleship, Nebraska. Now, the best I can tell, it looks like the flight deck takes up the whole back half of the ship, so there's only 2 triple turrets. So this is going to kind of be like the what is the name? The Soviet. It's going to kind of be like the Soviet battleship that has the radar, that has the 2 front turrets, except for this is going to have planes. That's what I'm thinking whenever I see this, and I apologize, I can't remember the name of that ship. But so this is Tier 8 Nebraska. A lot of AA guns up front. Really weird looking ship. Really, these are just weird looking. I'm sorry. It just looks like it wouldn't float the way it's backloaded. It looks like the bow should be sticking up in the air, like if you put too much weight in the back of a canoe. So it says a fast aircraft carrier battleship with powerful anti-aircraft defensive. That's a misnomer. It's all relative. And 406 millimeter guns. So there you go. Battleship Delaware at Tier 9. Project for large hybrid battleship based on the Iowa class hull, along with similar AA defenses, armor, and speed as the Iowas. And again, it looks like it's got 6. I'm guessing they're probably still 406s. Don't know. It'd be interesting to know if the Nebraska has the same guns as the North Carolina, like the smaller caliber guns, and the Delaware has the same guns as the Iowa. Would be interesting to know. Then American Battleship Louisiana, Tier 10. Again, I'm seeing what appears to be just 6 guns. A project for a powerful battleship aircraft carrier based on the Montana class and armed with, 10 406 millimeter guns. The ship's AA is composed of late World War II systems. So 10, well, there's 6 in the front. So there must be either a couple of double turrets in the back, maybe, or one quadruple turret. It's one of the two. I would say it's probably 2 double turrets, maybe. We'll see. But it doesn't. You can't really tell from this picture. Can't really tell. So let's look at the stats. They're talking about the naming of these U.S. battleships. So it says an act of Congress established that the names of the United States warships are selected by the Secretary of the Navy under the direction of the President. And so they decided that ships of 40 guns and above would be named after states of the Union. And then they're going through all the information about that, which I'm not going to get into. If you're interested in that kind of history, by all means, read through it. Let's look at these ships' stats. I want to look at this. So Nebraska, 71,000 health at Tier 8. That's pretty stout. 32 millimeter plating. Minimal torque protection. So 22 kilometer range, 22.7, and 6.406s. That's nice. Typical guns. This has got to be North Carolina guns because it's 701 meters per second. They don't tell you what kind of, they don't give you the caliber of the guns here, but I'll bet you it's 701 meters per second. That looks like North Carolina guns. So 27 second reload. Okay. 45 second turn time. 2 Sigma. Yeah, I mean, these look very much like North Carolina guns. What's the airstrike DC? So we got reload time, available flights, number of aircraft in attacking flight 1, number of bombs and payload 1. What's wrong with this picture? So I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about right here. That must be okay. So this is your airstrike. Okay, I get it now. I'm off on a tangent because I had my brain on the aircraft carrier part. No, this is your anti-submarine. I think it's your anti-submarine stuff, something like that. But in any case, AA defense. Hard to tell. You got 20 secondaries on here, but you got your AA defense. Let's see, 459, 235, 175, 8 explosions. I mean, not bad. It's probably going to be something similar to the North Cal. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Dive bombers, 2,229 hit points, which is decently tanky for dive bombers. Not bad. Maximum speed 173 knots. All right, 5 in the flight. So it says, I'm trying to get a handle on this. Aircraft restoration time. So is it going to restore just like a carrier? I thought this was going to be kind of like what we're used to, where you just have a amount of time that it takes and you have your next flight. We will see. But you get 2 bombs and a payload. So basically you're going to be dropping 10 HE bombs with a 46% fire chance is what it is. Now, if I'm seeing this 120-second restoration time and you don't get to return your planes, so there's 5 of them, then that means that would be 600 seconds to get a full squadron together, which that's 10 minutes. So that's, you get to use this like, what, twice in the game? So I don't know. I need more information on this and to be able to digest this. This being my first read through and an initial reaction, I might have some misunderstandings in some of this. But so the ship goes 30 knots. Decent turning circle radius 760, rudder shift to 16.2, meh. Surface detectability 15.2. That puts you down to where? Somewhere around 12.2-ish. Once you take all of your concealment perks, I think. You get damage control repair. Okay. So, interesting. So, it's similar layout, same guns as North Carolina, it looks like, but you get 6 of them with a 27-second reload. Now, let's look at Delaware, Tier 9, 80,000 hit points. Is it just me, or are the 8s upside down in that 80,800? Isn't the smaller part of the 8 usually on top? I don't know. Maybe it's just how it looks to me. Weird. Very weird, but it is what it is. 32 millimeter plating. All right, so this guy has 8 guns. So it says 1x2 and 2x3 406s with 21.6 kilometer range. So let's go back up and look at this again. There's your 2x3. So there must be a 1x2 turret right here in the back. There's got to be. So you do have a back turret on the Tier 9. So that's 8 shells. Let's see what else we got. Standard kind of shells. .820 millimeters per second. Yeah, see, 762 meters per second AP. So I'm pretty sure that's Iowa, Montana level of AP there. So what is the, does it tell the reload? Yes, 30 seconds. So basically this is an 8-gun battleship. 30-second reload, 45-second turn time, which is mediocre. 1.9 sigma, 276 meter dispersion. How does that compare up here? Very similar. The sigma's not quite as good, but it compares comparably. Let's see what we got here now. Secondaries, similar kind of thing. We have 8 explosions still. And you also have a lot of your AA defense in the mid-range of a 4-kilometer range. So that's kind of interesting. What else? We have dive bombers. Again, 2,600 hit points, which is decent. Again, 5 aircraft with 2 HE bombs apiece. So you get 10 HE bombs. Got 120-second restoration time. Again, I'm just trying to justify what this is going to look like. In other words, can you launch the squadron with only 2 planes? Is it kind of like you can do with a carrier, or is this more of a kind of a consumable, like it is on the Kearsarge and some of the others in the Issei and some of those other ships? Looks like it's going to be more like a carrier. So let's see, stretch out a little bit. Let's look at the Louisiana and see what it looks like. So at 96,300 health, again, pretty decent. A little better torpedo protection. So, okay. So I said this one probably had to either have a 2 1x2s or a 1x4. It's got a 1x4 in the back. So you got 4 guns in the back and 1 turret, and you got 6 in the front and 2 turrets. These are the same shells as on the Tier 9. So this is Iowa, Montana shells for AP. 22.8 kilometer range, 30-second reload, 1.90 sigma, so similar dispersion and all of that. Same kind of secondary again. Your AA defense, a little bit more AA defense, but still focused in the mid-range, and still only 8 explosions. So, I mean, I'm sure it's decent. Dive bombers, now 2,500. Still 120-second restoration times for those planes. And so Now here you get 6 aircraft per flight. 2 bombs apiece. So here you get 12 HE bombs. So a couple more, you pick up 1 more plane and a couple more bombs in your drop. So that's very interesting. How about this AA? Yes, you know, the AA on the Tier 8 is focused more in the short range, in the 2-kilometer range, than it is in the mid and long. So that's very interesting. All right, so what else do we have here? Let's keep looking down the list. The next item we have is the Tier 3. I don't spend a lot of time on this one, but Tier 3 Pan-Asian cruiser Ning Hai. Says it's a compact light cruiser built in Japan for the ROC Navy. Distinguishing features were moderate speed and relatively powerful artillery for her size. In game, notable for long-range, rapid-firing guns, powerful torpedo armament. Also good concealment and maneuverability, but a low speed and small HP pool. So, wow, 6mm plating. Oof. 13,800 hit points. 6. So you got 3x2, 13.7 range, which is decent at tier 3, 140 millimeters. 10% fire chance, that's pretty good. 8-second reload, I guess. Torpedo tubes, 2x2 that do 10,000 damage, have a 7-kilometer range. Interesting. You do have a little bit of AA. Ooh, maximum speed of 21.2 knots. Ouch. It's got good maneuverability and the detectability of 9.9. That means you're going to be about, what, 8.9? Something like that. If you build into concealment. So, interesting. All you get's a damage con there. So, just a quick breeze over. The next item up for look is the Pan-Asian battleship Sun Yat-Sen, Tier 9. This thing looks very Russian. If I'm looking at it, the lines on it look very, very Kremlin-like to me. So let's see. Oh, well, here you go. A battleship similar in many respects to the Sovietsky Soyuz class. Makes perfect sense, except in the gunnery department. She has 6 457mm guns with good accuracy and range. Healthy supply of hit points, good armor. AA defense is average. It says she can deftly fend off enemy squadrons with defensive AA. Well, I call BS on that, but that's just the way it is. Main con of the ship is the reduced number of guns. Its consumables are represented by damage control, repair party, and defensive AA. Let's look at the ship's stats real quickly. 88,100 health, which is not bad. 35% torpedo protection, which is not bad. It's not anywhere near the greatest, but it's not bad. So you got 20-kilometer range on 6 457s. 26-second reload. Okay. Sigma's okay. What else do we have? Here's your airstrike. Yeah. Secondary armament. There's only 12 guns. I would say you're not going to be wanting to build into secondaries. AA defense. Ooh, it is. Oh, okay. It's all tied up in mid and long range. Interesting. Very interesting. Doesn't look that great, but it is what it is. 28-kilometer or 28 knot speed, which is okay. Big turning radius. Rudder shift to 14.9. I mean, looks okay. Looks okay, but, you know, remains to be seen. Commonwealth cruiser Hector. This is our next item up for review. This is an interesting little layout. Are these all main battery guns up here, or is the front one main battery and these others are secondary? So this says a project for an enlarged version of the Dido class cruiser. So, so this is Dildo the Second. Okay. The main differences between her and her prototype line, the more powerful guns and torp armament. So it has 1,433 millimeter guns at Tier 9. Holy crap. Divided between 7 turrets. So it looks like we've got 4 turrets up front and 3 stacked in back, kind of like on Atlanta or whatever. Wow, 14. That's ridiculous. And they're 133s, which is nasty. It's got 4 tube torpedo launchers, similar to Neptune. They can be single launched since it's British. Wow. Okay. Main battery has high rate of fire yet low damage and armor penetration values. The torpedo is comfortable. Torp launching angles, has good concealment maneuverability, low hit points and weak armor. Consumables, it has a damage control party, repair party with standard settings, crawling smoke, and a choice between defensive AA and hydro. Interesting. Let's look at the quick stats. 34,400 health. 16 millimeter plating. 14,130. 15.6 main battery range. That's not horrible, folks. That's not horrible at all. 8% fire chance. That's also not horrible. And this thing has a crawling smoke. That's interesting. So, reload time of 6.7 seconds. That's not the end of the world. You do get depth charges, though, and not ordnance planes. Let's see. Looks like you've got 10-kilometer torps. So that's good. They do decent damage, 16,700, 62 knots, 96-second reload. That's very British like. 1.3 torpedo detection range. That's not too bad. Let's see what the AA looks like on this. Kind of mediocre at best. So yeah, and it's just not. 4 explosions, yeah. 34 knot speed, decent maneuverability, like in the rudder shift and the turning radius. 10.5 concealment. This is Tier 9. So you'll be able to get this thing down to about what? 8.6 maybe? So 8.5 or 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's pretty good. You do have a 4.6 kilometer smoke firing penalty, but hey, can't have everything. Damage control, repair party, hydroacoustic, or defensive AA, and crawling smoke with a 90-second duration. Okay. That's definitely interesting if you're into that, the Atlanta and those type of ships. That's definitely interesting. And lastly, we have our British Submarine Alliance, which is a Tier 8 diesel electric sub, long operating range. Used in the late 1950s. It underwent a major upgrade in the late 1950s. Unlike researchable British submarines, the Alliance has access to both acoustic and standard torpedoes. Okay, acoustic torpedoes have a shorter distance at which they stop homing, as well as improved turning speeds towards ping targets, but they are extremely slow. Okay. Low damage. Like the researchable British subs, it has an impressive dive capacity and good speed, but a small HP pool. So what does that look like? 15,400. 310 unit dive capacity, 6.5 second reload. The ping, I guess. So let's see what we got here. 6x1 torp tubes with 5,067 max damage, 10 kilometer range, 42 knot speed. Okay. Then we have the alternative torpedo. Has almost double the damage, 9,867. Looks like, oh, the speed is 65 knots, so they're much faster. The range is only 7 kilometers. What else? 31 knot speed. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Surface detectability of 5.7. This is tier 8. So if you can build the sub, I don't play subs, so if you can build it the same way as ships, does that mean you get this concealment down to like about 4.6 or something like that? That's pretty ridiculous. Damage control, hydrophone, and submarine surveillance. Okay. Well, that will be it for this DevBlog that was put out today, September 28th, 2022. So, what's the overall take? Well, the American researchable hybrids are weird. That's all I can say. They're very weird. Remains to be seen how good they will be. I'm not quite sure I understand how the planes are going to work. It looks like they may work a little more like a carrier's planes. Maybe. But we'll have to see how it happens in practice. Tier 3 cruiser, and moving right along. That's not going to get a lot of use. Tier 9 Pan-Asian battleship. I'd like to see the plating on this. It says it has decent armor. I'd love to see the armor profile, but hey, we don't have it right now. It is what it is. But interesting looking though. The Hector, also an interesting concept with all these guns. She is going to potentially be nasty to deal with. And I don't have much to say about subs. So, much like, yeah, I just don't have much to say about subs. That's the best I can say. But that's it. That's your September 28th DevBlog. Hope it was informative. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see notifications of future videos, just ring the bell. Until next time, Tater Dawg says, woof.